Preface. Osteoarthritis is a condition that millions endure, yet few truly understand the journey of overcoming its relentless pain. My own battle with this degenerative disease was long and challenging. As a person trained in pharmacy, I initially relied on conventional treatments, only to realize that they offered temporary relief rather than true healing. Frustrated by the cycle of pain and dependency on medication, I turned to a path less traveled, a path of alternative therapies, holistic healing, and lifestyle transformation. This book, Freedom from Arthritis Naturally, is both a personal testimony and a guide for those seeking hope beyond conventional medicine. It chronicles my struggles, discoveries, and the profound realization that healing is not just about managing symptoms but about addressing the root causes. Through disciplined dietary changes, herbal remedies, targeted movement, and a deep connection to nature's healing power, I found a way to reclaim my life, free from chronic pain and pharmaceutical reliance. In sharing my journey, my goal is to inspire, educate, and empower others facing similar battles. Whether you are newly diagnosed, have struggled for years, or are supporting a loved one, this book offers insights, practical strategies, and a renewed perspective on what true healing means. Healing is possible, freedom from pain is attainable, and this book is my testament to that truth. Alfred Okoko. Chapter 1. The Day It All Changed. Pain has a way of creeping into our lives when we least expect it. It doesn't arrive with a grand announcement or an obvious cause. Instead, it sneaks in, subtle and persistent, until one day, you realize it has taken residence in your body, refusing to leave. For me, it started as an occasional stiffness in my knees. Nothing dramatic, just a mild discomfort that I easily ignored. I chalked it up to fatigue, maybe even a bit of overexertion. After all, I had always been an active person, moving through life with purpose. If my knees ached at the end of a long day, so be it. I had no reason to suspect it was anything serious. But then, something changed. The discomfort turned into an ache that lingered a little longer each time. Mornings became difficult. I would wake up feeling stiff, needing extra time just to get moving. My knees no longer bent as easily as they once did, and my back felt tight as if it had been compressed overnight. Climbing stairs, something I had done effortlessly for years, suddenly required conscious effort. And the worst part, the pain was becoming unpredictable. Some days, I felt fine. Other days, it hit me with a force that left me stunned. The moment of realization, the moment I knew something was seriously wrong, wasn't dramatic. It wasn't a fall or an injury. It was something so small, yet it changed everything. I was at home, going about my daily routine, when I bent down to pick something off the floor. As I started to straighten up, a sharp pain shot through my knees, forcing me to grab onto the nearest piece of furniture for support. It wasn't just discomfort anymore, it was real pain. I froze, heart pounding, as a wave of fear washed over me. What was happening to my body? I took a deep breath and straightened up slowly, hoping it was just a fluke. Maybe I had moved the wrong way. Maybe it was just one of those random aches that came and went. But as the days passed, the pain only worsened. Walking for long periods left my knees feeling swollen and tender. Sitting for too long made my back stiffen to the point where standing up became a challenge. I started paying closer attention to my body, and the more I noticed, the more concerned I became. The pain wasn't just lingering, it was progressing. And with each passing day, the thought became harder to ignore. Something was wrong, and it wasn't going away on its own. The doctor's visit. I wasn't the kind of person to run to the doctor over minor aches and pains. But by this point, I knew I needed answers. I booked an appointment, hoping for reassurance, something simple, like a strained muscle or mild inflammation that could be treated with rest and some over-the-counter medication. The doctor listened as I described my symptoms. He asked questions, pressed on my knees and lower back, and observed how I moved. Then came the tests, X-rays, blood work, and mobility assessments. When the results came in, I sat across from him in the sterile white office, waiting for him to speak. He let out a small sigh before looking me in the eye. "It's osteoarthritis," he said. "It's a degenerative joint condition." The words hung in the air between us. My heart sank. Osteoarthritis. I had heard of it before, but I had always associated it with older people. I wasn't elderly. How could this be happening to me? I asked the obvious question. Is there a cure? He shook his head. There's no cure, but we can manage the symptoms. I'll prescribe some anti-inflammatory medication, and we'll start you on physical therapy. The goal is to slow the progression and keep you as mobile as possible. His words were meant to be reassuring, but they felt like a life sentence. No cure, just management. I had walked into the office hoping for a solution, and now I was walking out with a label that felt heavier than the pain itself. Life on conventional therapy. At first, I followed the plan religiously. I took my medications as prescribed, attended physical therapy, and tried to remain hopeful. The doctors assured me that with the right combination of treatments, I would be able to live a relatively normal life. But reality didn't align with their promises. The medications dulled the pain, but only temporarily. They did nothing to stop the stiffness that made simple movements difficult. And the side effects? Oh, the side effects. The anti-inflammatory drugs upset my stomach, leaving me nauseous and bloated. Some days, I wondered if the medication was causing more discomfort than the osteoarthritis itself. Physical therapy was another challenge. While I appreciated the exercises meant to strengthen my joints, the process felt painfully slow. There were days I left therapy sessions feeling worse than when I arrived. It takes time, the therapist would say. You have to be patient. I tried. I really did. But months passed, and the improvement was minimal at best. Some days, I convinced myself that I was getting better, only to wake up the next morning feeling like I had taken 2 steps backward. The pain was still there, always lurking, always ready to remind me that my body was no longer what it used to be. And then came the emotional toll. I found myself withdrawing from activities I once enjoyed. Long walks, too painful. Traveling, too exhausting. Even social gatherings became difficult because I didn't want to be the person who constantly had to sit down or excuse themselves because of discomfort. I felt trapped inside my own body. Doubt and frustration. A year passed, and nothing changed. I had done everything the doctors recommended, yet my pain remained my unwanted companion. I began to question everything. Was this really the best modern medicine had to offer? Was I destined to spend the rest of my life depending on pills that barely made a difference? One evening, as I sat with my knees aching and my back throbbing, a thought entered my mind, one that had been lingering in the background for some time. There has to be another way. I didn't know what that way was yet, but I knew one thing for certain. I wasn't ready to accept a lifetime of pain. There had to be something beyond conventional treatment, something that could truly help me heal instead of just masking the symptoms. That night, I made a decision. I was going to find another way, no matter how long it took, no matter what it required. What I didn't realize then was that this decision would lead me to a world of healing I had never imagined possible. A world where pain was no longer my prison. A world where remission wasn't just a dream, it was my future. Looking ahead, this was just the beginning of my journey. Little did I know, my search for answers would take me beyond the boundaries of conventional medicine and into the realm of alternative healing. I would soon discover remedies that not only alleviated my pain but also restored my body's natural balance. The road ahead wouldn't be easy, and there would be moments of doubt and trial. But what awaited me at the end of it, a life free from pain, would make every step worthwhile. At that moment, I didn't have all the answers. But I had something just as powerful: the determination to reclaim my health. For more, check on the description.